Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is my accountability tracker, and today I will be discussing my Transfer Tuesday contribution. So Transfer Tuesday is a practice sort of made known by Mary at Pennies Not Perfection, and Tuesdays are the day of the week where a lot of folks in the financial community like to send money toward their financial goals, so that way they don't feel like they're only making money moves, let's say once a month or once a paycheck. For me, I'm paid once a month, so that's the same thing, but if you're paid every 2 weeks, then that. And so this allows for you to really just move along with goals once a week, and so you feel like you have that momentum. And for this week, I'm starting up something new called the Penny Challenge, where for every day of the year, you give whatever that day amount of pennies is. There's a much better, more eloquent way of putting that, but basically, like January 1st is 1 cent, January 2nd is 2 cents, and so forth. December 31st is $3.66 because it's a leap year. And so the week 2 spending will kind of show what this will look like normally, but because I decided to start this up in the middle of the week, I'm actually just funding it using the overage that I have from my spending categories. So for groceries, and I'll explain what that looks like in a second. For groceries, I budgeted $125 for the week. For coffee, I budgeted $5. For restaurants, I budgeted $25. And for miscellaneous expenditures, I budgeted $6.59. And the reason why that's the case is because I actually had quite a few big miscellaneous expenses at the beginning of the month for pretty necessary items, school books really. So the $6.59 is just sort of what remains for the rest of the month. I pulled out this green pen. It does not show out super well on camera, so I apologize for that. But I spent $110.44 for my groceries, and so the green pen is to signify that I'm under budget, which is a good thing, and the red pen means I'm over budget. So I spent $7.62 for coffee, which was regrettable. I did not enjoy the coffee that I got, by the way. I got a coffee and a pastry. Coffee was like lukewarm, and the pastry was dry, and it was not worth $7.62. It wasn't worth $1. For restaurants, I was a little bit over budget, but not really. And for miscellaneous, I was under budget. And my total expenses for the week were $149.68. So I'll put that in green because I don't know what shows up on camera well. And I will do better for my next video. But also it's in green because I was under budget. So I had $14.56 left over for groceries and 61 cents left over for miscellaneous. And for my coffee shops, I was $2.62 over, and for restaurants, I was 64 cents over. And so the grand total for what I have to put away toward my penny challenge, which I could have clarified this earlier, is going to fund my emergency fund, is $11.91. Again, it's really washed out here, so I do apologize for that. I couldn't find a way to edit it to look better. At this point, I start to realize that the colors were not the right idea, and maybe by putting it in a black box, it would show up better on camera. I was wrong. So $11.91. Because I didn't know what to do just yet, I decided to just work backwards for the penny challenge. So that would be $3.66, $3.65, $3.64, and 96 cents all crossed off of my penny challenge. And so that all adds up to $11.91, which I sent to my emergency fund. And at some point I'll probably update how much I have in my emergency fund. But right now I think it's like a little over $3,000, so definitely more than 1 month, which is honestly a blessing. I feel very comfortable now for the first time in a while. So for week 2, this is a bit more traditional, I guess, of what I'm going to try and do with my penny savings challenge. So I got Google to give me random numbers for each of my spending categories between 1 and 366. And so for groceries, because it's the biggest budget category, I asked for 4 numbers to be given, which were $3.06, $2.99, $2.33, and $1.62, which, interestingly enough, equals $10 exactly. Which means that for the next week, I actually, quote-unquote, only have $115 to spend. That's not an only. I actually probably should budget less for groceries because I'm consistently under budget, but that's okay. we work with what we work with. Google gave me $1.58 for restaurants, which means that I'll have $23.42 to spend on restaurants this week. And you can tell when I'm doing the math in my head versus when I actually just go to Excel, because eventually I just really slow down with doing these calculations because I can't do mental math that well. It's probably good that I'm not a cash stuffer because I can't count either. Again, I mentioned this in the last video. My full-time job is like statistical analysis. I should be so much better at math than I am, but I digress. So for coffee shops, Google gave me 57 cents, so I have $4.43 to spend this week. And lastly, for miscellaneous, I got 93 cents, so I'll have $5.66 to spend this week. And I say that so quickly, but it did take me a while to type that down into Google, or into Excel. So, again, as a reminder, I think I'm just going to use my coffee shop money to invest in some good, like, syrups or something like that for my coffee, because I love a good iced coffee at home, even if it's 2 degrees outside. Yeah, so my Pennies Savings Challenge contribution for this week will be $13.08, which will come directly from my spending category. So I'll have $13 less to spend over the second week of February. And then lastly, my sort of like major focus for financially, just in general, is investing. And so my goal right now is to max out my Roth IRA. And part of that, well, I'll have 4 different contributions that I make. The first one is just a scheduled payment that I do, and that's from my budgeted amount, which if you go to the last video, I had $300 for the month that I wanted to budget. And so I split that up over the 4 Transfer Tuesdays that we have in February. And so that'll be $75. I'm getting ahead of myself, I apologize. So the second one is I had some cash back on my Capital One credit card. As a reminder, actually I don't know if I've talked about this, but I don't have credit card debt, thank goodness. And so I use credit cards very well. I consider myself a credit card person, and I do tend to get a lot of points and cash back. So my Citi card and my CVS account, which I found out had cash back, all gave me cash back this week, which was nice. So I have $6.97 from Capital One. I have $8.45 for Citi. And on my receipt, I found out that I had 77 cents from CVS. So I decided to just throw that in there. And so my grand investing total was $91.19. I'm probably going to take a second to figure that out because I don't know if I have the number up. Okay, there we go. $91.19 went to my Roth IRA this week, which is really nice. My goal is to max out the Roth IRA just in general for this year, before the year end, of course. However, if I can do that sooner rather than later, it would be even better. So that's where all these like little challenges come in. Because right now, the way how my monthly paychecks are budgeted, I will max it out by the end of the year, but I'd like to do it sooner so I can focus on other goals. And so now, adding up all 3 major transactions I did this week, I had $116.18 going to some financial goal for week 1 of February. So I had a little smiley face because that's quite a bit of money. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I am now just sort of like in the outro scene, so stick around or don't. But I really do appreciate that you've stayed around this long, and I hope that you can follow for more if you care. If you'd like to stick around, that's really nice. I'm slowly learning that I probably should start learning how to increase engagement on YouTube, and I'm still pretty new to the platform, all things considered. I don't really know how to market myself that well. I think at one point I'll start making some sort of savings challenge based off of the number of views or likes that I get on my channel or on my videos, or maybe comments as well. However, my first video, my welcome back video, I got 5 views and 1 like, so thank you to whoever those folks were. I greatly appreciate it. And I will probably find a way to save like $1 for my next Transfer Tuesday or something like that. That said, if you have any ideas, let me know. If you like what you watched, please feel free to follow and subscribe, as I said before, and I'll probably have maybe like a mid-month check-in and Transfer Tuesday #2 coming up pretty soon. Well, I guess the next Transfer Tuesday video will come up on Tuesday of next week, so that won't be too soon, but I'm still trying to figure out like a content calendar and what I might want to post, so if you made it this far, let me know what kind of videos you want me to make. But thank you all so much, and take care.